Welcome to Holistic Health is Hot, where your journey to sculpting your dream body meets holistic health. I'm your host, Ashley Roberts. Here, we're going to chat about mindset hacks that have completely transformed my life and dive deep into nutrition and movement that will help transform yours. We're going to get into the intense connection between mind, body, and soul so you can glow from the inside out. Let's get into it. And remember, holistic health is hot. Welcome back to another episode of Holistic Health is Hot. Today we are diving into all things intuition. I'm really excited for this episode because this is something that I've been leaning into a lot recently with everything, movement, nutrition, decision making. So we're going to get into all the goods. This episode is for you if you're really seeking a deeper connection with yourself and your own well-being. Maybe you're overwhelmed with all of the information in the fitness world and you're like, what do I actually do? And how you can really tap into your own intuition to figure that out. And really how you can learn to listen to your body. I think where a lot of the fitness industry goes wrong is they miss this piece of listening to your body. And, we'll go into this, but sometimes when you've tried a million diets, it's hard to trust your own intuition in your own body. So I have a different approach to it, kind of a middle ground. If you're just on a journey of personal growth and looking to integrate intuition into it, then this episode is for you. Before we get into it, just a quick little life update like I like to do. One, dyed my hair. As you can see, unless you're listening to it, not a lot going on in my world right now, but I did dye my hair. So it's really dark and I love it. I don't know. It feels like a new me. So excited for that. The other exciting thing is that snow season has begun. I think there's one resort, Mammoth might have opened, which I've never been there, but I think next week in Tahoe, all the snowboard resorts that we go to are opening, which I'm so freaking hyped for. But other than that, nothing too crazy going on in my world. We did kind of fix up our garage gym a little bit and Eric got a bench for us. So I'm really excited to be able to use that more. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. Let's get into it. First off, let's talk about what even is intuition. I think we all think we know what it means, but do we really? So intuition isn't just a gut feeling. It's accumulation of our life experiences, emotional intelligence, and just a deep understanding of ourselves and our surroundings. It can be really subtle and it can be not subtle, but we are really good at ignoring it. So I've ignored my intuition. Even if it's one of those things where it's just like, if you know that you should or shouldn't be doing something, or you have a gut feeling, or this something either in your mind or body, I feel like intuition can be something like a physical feeling, or it can just be like a knowing. And I've ignored my intuition so many times, especially with one example I'll kind of give is with the mainstream fitness world, where I thought that I had to macro track and have this really structured workouts with my clients. And my intuition has told me like, that's not the way to do it. Like, that's not it. And I ignored it for so long because I was looking at the outer world and thinking that they know better than my own intuition. So that's like a big one for me. But again, intuition is complex and it refers to the ability to understand or know something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning. So here are a couple of aspects of intuition. One is subconscious understanding. Intuition is thought to arise from the subconscious mind. It synthesizes information that we may not consciously notice, allowing us to make quick judgments and decisions. We have our conscious and our subconscious mind. Conscious mind is when we have to physically think about something logically with reason, where subconscious mind is kind of things that happen automatically. And intuition is rooted in our subconscious mind because it's like this deep-rooted, all-knowing thing in our body. Intuition is also a gut feeling. We all know when we have that like, oh, like I feel like this is not right, or oh, like you get butterflies when you feel like something is right. We have that like body feeling. Or intuition can be, physical sensations or just an all-knowing, like I said, which takes me to the next point of inner wisdom. Inner wisdom comes from not only just ourselves, but our past experiences, patterns observed, lesson learned, even if we don't actively remember them. Also, nonverbal cues. Intuition can also involve the ability to pick up on and interpret nonverbal cues from other people in the environment, like body language or emotional atmospheres. I have this so intensely that sometimes it's exhausting. I can walk into a room and if I see some people just like kind of giving weird body language or whatever, I can read the energy and be like, oh, they're fighting. Oh, they're happy. Oh, whatever, like I can read the energy of the room so easily, and that is an intuitive knowing. I try to explain it to people sometimes and I feel like people just don't understand it unless you have this, and it's something that is good for me in ways of I can really understand and empathize with people, but on the other side, it can be really exhausting when sometimes I just want to relax and I don't want to be worried about other people's energies. I just want to focus on myself, but I can't because it's just like this constant energy around me. Intuition is closely linked to emotional intelligence as it involves understanding and interpreting one's own emotions and the emotions of others. Again, all of these are kind of related, but you get the idea. There's a lot of different kind of pieces to intuition, but I would say the main takeaways are kind of like a gut feeling, like a body physical sensation, or just like this inner wisdom of like, whoa, I know this and I don't know why, but I do. That also comes into play with your desires or your direction. So often we question ourselves of, why do I even like this? Why do I even want to do this? Why do I have this pull towards this thing or this activity or maybe this career? And a lot of times it's because our desires are our direction. Our intuition is trying to tell us something. There is a reason that you are drawn or pulled towards something. It's because your intuition is guiding you there. And I believe that our intuition is guiding you to be your ultimate self. Not to get all woo-woo, but I truly believe that your purpose on earth is to figure out who you are and live into your soul's purpose. Like, that's what I think the meaning of life is. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves that time to actually listen to our own intuition, because if we're not listening and tuning into our own intuition, we have no fucking clue who we are. And like, I think everything has happened for a reason with me, with how I even came into the fitness industry. I had an eating disorder for a reason. I struggled with my weight. I struggled with my mindset, all for a reason, because I was supposed to be a coach. I was supposed to be a mindset, health, and fitness coach so I can help people through that process. And my intuition did guide me here. I had an interest in fitness. I had an interest in working out, had an interest in eating healthy, making recipes, and it all led me to where I am today, which I believe I am living in tune with my soul's purpose the most I ever have been in my whole entire life. If I would have just stayed in my corporate job working in HR, my soul would have been dying. And I think a lot of us don't actually listen to our intuition and kind of try to suppress it so we can just try to be happy with what we have, instead of like taking chances on ourselves and maybe signing up for the course or investing in ourselves and taking that chance to be something better and be something more than what we are right now. So, like I said, we often really suppress our intuition, and I'm not just saying you're choosing to suppress it, but with the craziness of life and social media and our jobs and socializing and all these different things, we have so much on our brain and so much going on around us, so many decisions to make, that it's exhausting for us. We don't even take a second to just be with ourselves. Even drinking, like if we're like wanting to relax, and instead of just like relaxing and being with ourselves, we either lean on like the TV, or we lean on like having a glass of wine or calling a friend. We never just want to be. And I think it shows, because there's so many people that don't take the chance to listen to their intuition. And like I said, a lot of times we're either ignoring it, suppressing it, or we don't actually allow ourselves to have that time. Like I said, I truly believe your desires are direction to who you're supposed to be. And I think, again, we really kind of try to question why we enjoy something and why we have this need to learn something. And instead of just allowing to listen to our intuition, we just move on with our lives and try to ignore it. But it's really crazy, because once you actually start to listen to your intuition and start to use your desires as direction, and if you have a want or a need or whatever to learn something or try something or find a new hobby, once you actually start listening, your life becomes so much more fun, because you're like, holy shit, like this is so cool. I'm learning new things. This is actually so fun. I'm actually really good at this. One thing recently that I have decided I want to learn is to DJ. So I ordered a DJ panel, whatever they're called. Wow. See, this is how much of a noob I actually am, because I don't even know what it's called. DJ board, that's what it is. I just ordered one because I just like had this intuitive feeling like, you love music, Ashley. This looks so fun. This is such a vibe. It's such a fun way for you to like relax and try something new. And I even tried to fight it. Like, I bought the DJ board, I returned it, and then I got it again, because I was like, okay, Ashley, or I didn't return it, but I canceled my Amazon order, because I was like, Ashley, what are you doing? Like, you don't have time for this. And I was like, you don't know. My intuition says order the damn DJ board so you can actually have fun, learn something new. So I did. And I feel like it'd be so fun to like remix songs together and then like make a running playlist or like work out to your own music. Like, that's so fucking fun. Anyways, so again, I allowed myself to actually listen to my own intuition and try a new hobby. Will I love it? No idea, but I'll let you know. When our action align with our desires, there's just like this sense of flow, contentment, and ease, and it just feels right. Kind of what I was saying, where like if you follow your intuition with like me getting into personal training and then becoming a health coach, I started leaning into my intuition. And like I said, this is the most soul aligned I have felt in my whole life, really. And it's just weird. It just feels like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be. Again, it's like this intuitive ping of like, oh, right. Yeah, I shouldn't be doing anything other than this. Now, talking about desires and growth, our desires and intuition really nudge us out of our comfort zone. It's one of those things where we have a choice to listen to our own intuition. Like I said, you can choose to suppress it, and a lot of times this happens where we're on the verge of like, oh, maybe I should step out of my comfort zone, but it seems too scary, even though our intuition is like, do it. We are like, holy shit, like this is kind of scary. I don't know. Should I? This is outside of my comfort zone. Like, I don't know. And then again, we have that choice. And so many of us go to cross that line and then we get scared and we come back into our comfort zone. So it really helps us to confront our fears if you decide to get yourself out of your comfort zone, and really just helps us evolve. Now, benefits of following your intuition: enhanced decision making. I am one of those people where I'm very impulsive, and sometimes it works out in my favor. Sometimes it doesn't. But with me, I have learned that I need to take the time to actually ask what Ashley wants. Like I said, we have so many distractions in this day and age, and it's so easy to be like, oh, well, my mom wants me to do this, so I'm going to do this. Or, you know, my dad says that he wants me to do this, so I'm going to go to school for this, or whatever it may be. Instead of actually tuning in and asking ourselves, like, what does Ashley want? What do I want? What do you want? Not what does your mom want? What does your brother? Whatever it may be. Like, truly tuning in and giving yourself that space helps you make so many decisions. Also, reducing regrets, because when we take the time to actually tune in and ask ourselves what we want, we're not going to have this regret. Like with me, I'm very impulsive. And again, it's worked out in my favor. A lot of times it's also not worked out in my favor. But when we tune in and ask ourselves, we don't have this regret. Like if we're making a decision because somebody said that we should do it, and maybe later on we're like, oh, fuck, like I shouldn't have done that. But we did it because of somebody else. But if we regret something when we were listening to ourselves, it's different because we know that we took the time to actually do it. We took the time to actually listen to our own intuition, and we proceeded with a place of empowerment. Whether it was the right decision or not, we took that time to listen to ourselves. So reduces regret in that sense. Also, like I said, empowerment. Recognizing and honoring our intuition is fucking empowering. When we become the creators of our own destiny and are not just letting life pass us by, it is powerful. And you have the ability to do that and to be powerful and to be empowering, but you have to make the choice. You have to make the decision to listen to your own intuition. Now we're going to go into intuition with movement, mindset, and nourishment, because I think when you're on your health and fitness journey, intuition is a big part of it. You know, you are one. The soul, the mind, the body, you are one. And it would be silly to not tune in and listen to your own body. So let's start with movement, because this is something that I have beef with the mainstream fitness world with, because I like structure, but I think it's important to honor how your body feels. If you have a HIIT workout planned and you're all excited, and then all of a sudden you start your period and your energy just plummets, it's more important to honor your body than honor the workout that you were supposed to do. Listening to your body is so important, and intuition is a part of that. And understanding how your body responds to different forms of exercise is also important. Like what actually feels good. And I think, different parts of your cycle definitely have different energy levels. And again, I think cycle syncing is cool, but I'd rather you focus on your actual energy levels. Okay, I'm at a 7 today. I'm going to do a little bit more of an intense workout today. Or I'm at a 5 today. So I'm going to do maybe more of like lighter weights, blah, blah, blah. Or I'm at a 0 today. So I'm going to go for a walk. Using an energy level scale, I think is really helpful rather than just what phase of your cycle you're in, because everyone's kind of different. And yes, different energy levels, different hormones and stuff like that. But I think it's important for you to figure out, like maybe you only got 5 hours of sleep and you're exhausted and you don't have the energy to do anything in your ovulatory phase, which is when you have the most energy, but you're like dying and you're like, I can't do a big workout. So you shouldn't do what cycle syncing says. You should do what your body says, which means go for a walk, maybe even just a 10-minute walk. And like I said, adjusting your workouts based on energy levels. Also finding joy. Like intuitively, you will gravitate towards certain types of physical activity. Listen to that, because if you enjoy your movement and your workouts, you are going to stick with it so much much more. Now moving into intuition and mindset, aligning with your mentality, inner dialogue, your inner voice. I talk about this a lot, but it's so important to pay attention to how you speak to yourself, especially with life in general, but also body and fitness goal. If you are negative constantly, you're going to have negative results. If you can encourage yourself and be your own best friend, your own freaking cheerleader, life is going to be so much more fun. You're going to be so much happier in life. And even if you're not exactly where you want to be, you don't have to lie to yourself and say, I have my dream body, or I'm light as a feather, when you don't actually feel that way. You can say things like, I am working towards my dream body. Every day I'm getting stronger. Whatever it may be, whatever feels good to you. But you also need to do it with the energy behind the words that you say too. And I just listened to a podcast, The Mindset Mentor, and he talked about how we are not just going one for one with negative to positive. If we have a negative thought, we want to out positive it. We want to push it out, because think about it. If we have one negative thought and one positive thought, that just cancels each other out. And we don't want to do that. We don't want a neutral mindset. We want a damn fucking positive, abundant ass mindset. So if I say one negative thing to myself, I'm going to say 5 positive things, or 10, or however many are popping into your mind. You don't have to say a million different ones, but you can just say the same one maybe 5, 6 times if you need to. But again, with the energy behind it. Also, intuition can help with goals, really having a deeper why. Why do you want to reach these goals? Because a lot of times when we have this deeper intuitive knowing of why we want to get there, it's so much easier to actually stick with it. Because you can say you want to look good in a bikini, but if it's the middle of winter and it's cold outside, you're not going to be thinking that far ahead. But if you have this deep underlying reason why you want to get to that dream body by summer, you are so much more willing going to stick with it. So much more likely going to stick with it. Also, handling plateaus with your intuition. When progress seems to really stall, your intuition can guide you to make the necessary changes or to practice patience and persistence. So if you're in a plateau and you're like, fuck, this sucks, I hate this, tap into your intuition and be like, all right, what can I do to work towards my dream body when I'm feeling at this plateau? Your body will tell you. Your intuition will tell you. Maybe it's like, you need to eat more food, or you need to work out less. Like, who knows? But tapping in and listening to your body is always trying to tell you something, and it will always guide you in the right direction. And now moving into intuition with nourishment, which is eating for your unique body. Hunger and fullness cues. So tuning into your body's signal for hunger and satiety. Intuitive eating is about recognizing and respecting these cues, which guides you towards when and how much to eat. Like I said, when you tune in and listen to your own body, you are going to be able to listen and stop when you're actually full, and listen to what your body's actually craving, and just feel so much more secure and proud of what you're actually eating. If you have a body goal, I think intuitive eating is the end goal. But I think that with so many women who have tried a million diets and have struggled with body image and self-love, it's really fucking hard to just be like, all right, intuition, tell me, what do I need to do? Because, we've tried things and our body has quote unquote failed us. At least this is how I felt. And this is a lot of women that I have worked with feel like their bodies have failed them when they are not in a place where they're happy with their body and maybe haven't been for a long time. So when you are trying to lose weight, I think it's important to use a different approach. And we call it structured intuitive eating. This is what I use with my clients, and it's a stepping stone to intuitive eating. A lot of times women are severely under eating, and this structured intuitive eating is a way that you can really heal your metabolism, but also having a bit of structure, but also listening to your body. So it's kind of like a combination of masculine and feminine energy where there's that structure, but you're also tuning into your intuition, because sometimes it's not as simple as yep, okay, gonna listen to my intuition. Maybe my intuition is telling me to eat 20 cookies. And again, we might not trust ourselves at the beginning of this journey. So which is why structured intuitive eating is the best, most helpful way I have found that we've helped women with getting to their dream body in a way that has structure, but it's not miserable. And you get to tune into your own hunger cues, satisfaction cue, and everything like that. Yeah. And when you lean into intuition with food choices, you are listening to how you feel. Because I remember I had a fitness coach one time and she's like, eat 170 grams of protein. And I was like, oh fuck, okay, if this is what it's gonna take, let's do it. So I was stuffing my face morning, evening, like literally from my eyes opening to going to sleep, I would stuff my face with protein and I felt like shit. And this is when I should have been like, okay, Ashley, this isn't feeling right. Something isn't feeling right, okay? So I should have listened to my own intuition, but I didn't. And that's same with you, like for me, I'm not going to eat chocolate cake all the time because I'm gonna feel like shit. And if you focus on how you feel rather than like, oh my gosh, the cake has so many calories, like it's gonna make me gain weight, that's never how it is for me. It's always like, okay, this doesn't feel very good. I've had non-healthy versions of dessert, like for my birthday. I had, cake multiple days in a row and brownies and all the things. And there's nothing wrong with that. I wasn't worried about gaining weight, but it just didn't feel good. And I was like, all right, we should probably switch back to healthier desserts with all whole ingredients. And again, with nutrition and nourishment, your body changes based on activity level, stress, and health goals, and also different phases of your cycle. And so it's really important to tune in, listen to your intuition with food, and adapt as necessary. And like I said, sometimes that can be hard, which is why I think it's using structured intuitive eating as a stepping stone. If you want any information on this or are curious about what structured intuitive eating is, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram at Ashley Robutz Fit, ASHLEYROBUTZ Fit, FIT. Now, how do you actually tune into your intuition? This is the magic question. And it's probably something that you're not gonna maybe like, because I know when I had a coach tell me, and yes, I had a coach, I've had many coaches, I've invested like $40K, probably way more than that on coaches and mentors, because I believe that they are the way to help fast track my journey, and they have helped me completely transform into a completely different human. Hence how I'm here, sitting here talking to you. But how to tune into your intuition is stillness and meditation. And this is not a guided meditation. This is you being with yourself. You can do it laying down. You can do it sitting. You can do it in your bedroom, on the couch. You can maybe on a walk with no headphones, walking by yourself, no music, no podcast. It's you being with you. That's when you actually allow yourself that time to listen to yourself and listening to your desires, your intuitions, your wants, your dreams. You need no distractions. And I think a lot of us are afraid of that. And it's one of those things too, where when I sat down to meditate, even for 5 minutes without a guided meditation, I was like, fuck, my mind was literally going a million miles an hour. But as I went on, the easier it got and the calmer my mind got. But it just takes time. A lot of times people are like, I can't sit and think about nothing, so it's not working. This isn't for me. When it just takes that time and practice. And start small. Start with 3 minutes if that's all it takes. Then move up to 4, then 5. I'm only at like 5 to 7 minutes right now, and I feel good about that because I have learned so much, even from just doing it for a short period of time. It has drastically changed how I make decisions and how I listen to my body in terms of workouts, movement, nourishment, whatever it may be. It has completely transformed how I decision make. It is wild what you can actually learn about yourself when you give yourself the space. Also, journaling can be helpful, but before anything, I would recommend just being still with yourself. But journaling is great too. I kind of feel like I can get through things faster in my brain when I'm just kind of sitting with myself. But if journaling helps you, maybe that works best for you. That's awesome too. And then also trust, believing in your feelings, trusting your own intuition, which is really hard. And so I think the first step is to just be aware of your inner voice and kind of your wants and your likes and dislikes and see where it goes for you. But that you can do while you're doing other things. But I highly, highly recommend, if you can take one thing away from this episode, is to try doing 2 minutes in the morning of just silent meditation. Don't put music on. Don't put anything else on. Like sit in your room, sit in your office, whatever it may be still with yourself and lean into it and listen. Your mind and body is always trying to tell you something. And by tapping into your intuition in all these areas like we talked about, you're not only working towards a physical transformation, you're really nurturing a deeper connection with yourself and learning to truly love yourself and honoring your desires. This holistic approach ensures that your journey towards your dream body is sustainable, enjoyable, and aligned with your true inner self. Like I said, your intuition, your inner voice is your compass. Give yourself that space to listen to her. She is your BFF. She is the one person that you will always have. So start treating her like the queen that she is. So remember, your desires aren't wishes. They're the universe whispering your plans for you. So tune in, listen, give yourself that space to be still, and just see what happens. Look at it as exploration and discovery, and you will be amazed at what your life turns into. That about covers it. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Holistic Health is Hot on all things intuition. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review it. Share it with a friend who you feel like needs it. Before I let you go, we are having a big Black Friday promotion where you can get up to 6 weeks free of coaching, which is a $1,500 value. You can save $1,500 freaking dollars with our Black Friday promotion. So if you want more information on this, please DM me on Instagram, or I will leave the application in the bio. My Instagram is at Ashley Robutz, ASHLEYROBUTZ Fit. That might be changing, but if you search just my first and last name, you will find me. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.